Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I believe both of you are doing fine, and everyone on the comment section too. I believe you're doing fine. Let me start. Miguda Barigani.
Niko salama kakangu, ujambo?
Si jambo baba. Makobura, hali gani?
Okay. Bado nafikiria mimi nitasema habari zenu, mko salama? Mimi hapa niko salama, nashukuru. Hali gani? Waambaje? Hayo tu.
Umemaliza? Unajua wewe sasa unatuchanganya kwa sababu tuliko kwako kule nyuma ulituhakikishia kwamba wewe utaenda masomo ya ziada sana sana kwa Kiswahili lakini tunapata kwamba saizi maneno zako sana sana tukija kukizungumzia kwa Kiswahili inakuwa ni machache sana. Inamaanisha kuwa masomo yako ya ziada haikufua dafu ama uliamua kutoenda?
Shida yenye mimi napatana nayo kila siku ni vile leo naweza kuwa nazungumza Kiswahili sanifu fasaha, lakini kesho ama kesho kutwa ndashindwa kuzungumza hiyo Kiswahili. Sasa sijui nina shida gani, kwa sababu saa zingine naweza nikakizungumza kwa ufasaha vizuri lakini tena ukiniamsha unipeleke kwa hiyo, uniongeleshe kwa hiyo lugha, tena naweza shindwa kidogo. Sasa sijui mbona inakuwa hivi, sijui memory yangu ndio iko na shida, sielewi, lakini nitapambana. I will try my best to ensure that as a Kenyan, as an African, I'll be able to speak fluently without fear
or favor.
Kabisa.
Okay, asante sana ndugu yangu, mimi nakuombea mazuri, nakuombea tenda mema. Usije kasahau, labda ukishajua kuzungumza kwa lugha alafu keshoe unapata kwamba umesahau. Nakuombea sana usikuje kufanya hivyo. Sasa mimi niko na pia jambo lingine hapa, nataka unitafsirie sana sana ndugu yangu Miguda, na wewe pia kama utapata nafasi, kwamba hii ni jambo lilisemwa na ndugu yetu mwingine, akasema kwamba usiwe mwepesi ya kuamini uongo, usamba zaidi kuliko ukweli. Labda Miguda, tafsiri yako ni gani?
Sijakupata vizuri, nimekupoteza. Hebu nazarudia.
Usiwe mwepesi kuamini uongo, usamba zaidi kuliko ukweli.
Nafikiria huyo mwenzako alikuwa anamaanisha ya kwamba katika harakati ya maisha mtu anafaa kwanza, kabla ya kuamua kufanya kitu fulani, lazima ukuwe na hakika, na lazima ukuwe na hakika ya kwamba hicho kitu unataka kufanya kitu unajiamini na unaiamini, isikuwe kitu ya ulaghai, kitu kama hiyo.
Okay, asante sana. Makobura, uko na lolote la kusema katika maneno hayo?
Hebu rudia tena ndio nione kama akili itajipa.
Okay. Usiwe mwepesi kuamini uongo, usambaa zaidi kuliko ukweli.
Maybe my understanding of that, sijui kama niongee my understanding in allow me to translate it to English. That do not find it comfortable or easy in in accepting or giving room to people who are not being truthful. Okay, what I can say, my understanding of that, this is my take.
Yeah.
I think it simply means that I would translate it. I would try give an example of what is happening in the Republic of Kenya. For example, the people of Kenya were, we got to a point where we were, we were supposed to do our elections, and we had a good number of people who are interested in those specific political positions, including the presidency. We had a list of people who wanted presidency. William Samoei Ruto was among them. Raila Amolo Odinga, Gachagua, they all gave us their agenda, their future plan for the country. And there's a good number of people, for example, who believed that Ruto would be the best president, and once given the mandate to to run the country, would do it perfectly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are those people who did not believe in him. On the other side, there are people who believed in Raila Amolo Odinga and all the plans that he had. And what I can say is that it is now the reality on the ground is quite different with the expectation. It is quite different with the agenda that had been given to the people. And I think that is the better clarification of that. Is it a proverb or misemo?
Hiyo namkunukuu. Huyo ni jamaa ambaye anajulikana katika ni jamaa ambaye ni Mswahili. Ana misemi zake ambayo anatoa katika labda akipata nafasi kuzungumza na wananchi, labda akipata nafasi palipopote ambapo anazungumza. Na wacha nichukue nafasi hii. Let me take this opportunity to thank Purity Sally. Thank you so much for joining. Gibson Corner, also thank you so much for joining. Now, kuhalisia, nakuja tu hapo kwa Kiswahili. Usiwe mwepesi kuamini uongo usambaa. Unajua uongo huwa inatembea haraka. Like unaweza pata kama something that is very trending. Yeah? Labda umesema jambo na jambo hili ikawa inasambaa sana. Yeah? Sasa na unajua kweli ni uongo, lakini usikue mtu wa kuamini kwa haraka sana. Yeah, usiwe mwepesi sana kuamini uongo usambaa zaidi. Kwa sababu unapata kwamba uongo huwa inaenda sana, lakini kuliko ukweli. Unaweza pata kwamba labda umesema ukweli, labda mko kwa mkutano ama labda mko sehemu fulani. Yeah, ukasema ukweli. Na unapata kwamba ukweli wako utakuwa inapiganiwa sana na wale ambao hataki kujua. Labda kuja kusema ukweli wako, tuseme kama labda unapata kwamba katika siasa kuna wale wanasiasa ambao wanasema ukweli. Na unapata kwamba hayo haendi, lakini mtu kasema uongo, unapata kwamba inaenda sana. Yes, that is what Gibson Corner now puts it in the right way. Ametupatia lies travels like a wildfire. So when the lies travels like a wildfire, so you should not be in a position to trust the lies, yeah, because it trends or it flies very fast as compared to truthfulness. That is in the nutshell. So that is what I think this is all about. Na inakuuliza unaondokaje? Asante sana. Thank you so much, Gibson Corner, for that. And we thank you so much for also putting in your effort. So we've now understood it better. There's so much that is going on, especially right now in the political field. And we would start with the senator, nominated Senator Orioba, who was expelled but went to the courts and has gotten a conservatory order. And one thing that we should talk about are these positions of nomination, because we know nominations sometimes are not done on merit. Sometimes you can find that somebody is being nominated that you've never heard of her or you've never heard of him. and they've never participated in any political field. But sometimes somebody might be nominated, one, because maybe your parents has contributed to the campaign for such a political party, or there's that close relationship between you and the owner of a political party. So the positions are usually given out not on the benefit or for the benefit of the country and what you're going to do, but for as a way of thanking you, even for participating in my campaign. So today, the good senator has gotten that conservatory order blocking her from removal from UDA and also from the Senate. So as it stands right now, she's still nominated senator under the political party of UDA, even though the Speaker of Senate had already declared her seat vacant, and there was a replacement too that was proposed by the party. And it's not the first time it's happening. It has happened. It has always been an history, and which means they usually serve at the masses of the political party leaders. Yeah, yeah, and that is, and you have to be loyal. And if you look at some of the reason maybe that has made her to be or made her to face such consequences is because one, she attended the homecoming party of Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Yeah, and there are also some allegations I will read for you about she also talked about the overseas jobs falling under the Ministry of Labor. So look at that. So to begin with, let me take this opportunity, Makubura. What do you say about the nomination slots? And is it now important, if you look at, do we need to have it if they are serving at the expenses of the party owners?
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. More of the nominations which have been given to political parties. We've been in this republic. Political parties have been nominating. They've been nominating people who are either close to them. Some of them are their relatives. Some of them are those people who contributed in their campaigns. Some of them are their girlfriends. Some of them are their boyfriends. And that's a fact. Not just the nominations that we do have in the political parties, those who are going to National Assembly, the Senate, or the county assembly, but even the cabinet secretary positions, the slots we've seen, we've had, and it is a conversation which has been in the limelight. What I can say is that most of time political parties have not gone for people, experts, not, people who have the capability. When you're nominating someone to go to the parliament, you are supposed to nominate someone who can reason, someone who can make laws, someone who can represent the people, someone who fully understands the role of the National Assembly, the Senate, the role of a representative. But majority of the ones that we've always had, some of them do not really understand that. And we've seen so many instances. Majority of them turn to be serious sycophants. And I can say that there's some, I'm not going to mention name, but even here in Kenya, we are currently seeing some nominated members of parliament or senators who are behaving like, they behave like they left their brain somewhere and now they want to operate without the brain. Because when you see the kind of things that they're advocating for, some of them, I saw one commenting yesterday on what was happening to our fellow Kenyans, the activists who had gone to Tanzania to just give their voice and to reason with the people of Tanzania, and especially the opposition leader. And after they were blocked, this leader came out and tweeted and started writing so many things that these activists, they caused chaos in the Republic of Kenya. Now they want to go and cause chaos, in Tanzania. And, she was congratulating the president of Tanzania, telling the president, you did well. Do not allow such people. You ask yourself, were you nominated to be a sycophant, to support things which are not really benefiting the people of Kenya? Or you're supposed to defend the people of Kenya? You're supposed to come up with laws which are going to ensure that the people of Kenya enjoys life and also being in this country. Let me specifically talk about Honorable Oruoba. I think she has done well. She's one of these people who are given this opportunity, and they've worked with that opportunity well. She advocated for the girl child to an extent that I remember she got into serious problems with the Senate and the leadership when she was advocating for the girl child. At some point, you remember she had problems with, some parliamentarian leaders, and she was expelled for quite some time because she had accused them of sexually assaulting her. And, when that case got to the parliament, it was just rubbished. And, she was actually made to apologize. Again, I also remember that she is the senator who was putting billboards throughout the Republic of Kenya, reminding the people of Kenya about what the girl child go through and the menstrual, circles. And to me, she did well. She has left a mark, and she is a good leader. She performed well. I know that the only problem that she's gotten herself into is I knew she was a marked leader. She was a marked senator based on first the accusations that she had with some leaders of Kenya Kwanza and the parliamentary leaders. And I remember that was a serious case. If you remember, she was told to come back. She came back and she was told to apologize. And she said, no, this is something that I went through. I cannot apologize. You are supposed to apologize. And, it was sarcasm there. But what I know, that time she was marked, and then they waited again for her during the homecoming of Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i. She was also there. But to me, I ask myself, what was wrong with Honorable Gloria, the senator, to attend a homecoming of someone who comes from her own tribe? What was wrong? We've seen leaders, political leaders, even going to the launch of other political parties. We saw some leaders, for example, went to the DCP political launch of that political party. We've seen quite a number. Why is it that just attending a homecoming of your brother or your, kinsman is a problem? Can that really warrant the removal of a senator? I think part of that is what she was being accused of. And again, the way this thing has been hurried tells you, because the speaker had time to look into it and to, even before the gazettement, but within no time, everything was done. Gazettement was done, conservatory was there. No one really wants to respect the courts. And those are the questions we're asking the people.
Okay, thank you so much. And speaking about this, I don't think like the speaker might be having a problem because it's being directed by the parties. This is a direction he gets from the party, communication from the party. So he will have to do its work. But good enough is that like there's a conservatory order that has been put in place. There's something that Gibson Connor is asking, and I wanted to explain about it, but I wanted to go through a few of the issues that we have. He's asking about this is what do you mean Ruto will find it difficult because of Gen Z block? Yeah, this is what already Ruto is cashing on. Ruto has the heaviest money box. He easily buy jobless people. Yes, but like I wanted to look at a different angle, and I'm saying that if you look at the Gen Z, they are not so much about the tribe and the transactional kind of like politics. I think they can take the money, but there are so many issues that they want it be done. They want equal distribution of resources and all that. We will come and discuss about that, Gibson Corner. Everyone has his own, her own lenses of seeing things. Corruption is bad when I am not involved. Government is bad when I'm not involved. But when I'm involved, I will protect and protest against others. That is true. I agree with you. And thank you so much for coming into the show. Miguda, also, I want you also to weigh on the issue and the position of nomination, especially that the political parties usually propose the personalities that they like, and if you go against their will, they can eject you anytime. And does it play a role? What significance does it have, especially when it comes to leadership? Because among other things that Orioba was talking about was about the jobs, the jobs that is questionable, especially that falls under the labor ministry. So people might, the politics might see that, okay, maybe because of those pointing, the issue that he was pointing out might have costed her that, including about going to welcome Matiang'i, could be one of the reasons. But now when you look at it critically, does it play a role, especially in the Kenya society, where these positions, they reward them not on merit, but they reward it on maybe what somebody did on your campaigns? Hello, Mr. Miguel.
When it comes to the issue of nominations, from my experience, first, before we even talk about the issue of meritocracy, there is how some political parties, it depends from one political party to the other. There are some political parties whereby they prefer women, and even to the county assembly. Let's not focus on the national assembly. Even if you go to the county assemblies, you'll find out that most of the nominated MCAs are women, particularly from the ODM side. And the reason sometimes most of them are they have not merited. Some maybe might be those people who fought for the leader, maybe a constituency legislature, who has some suggestion of the names to be nominated in the county assembly. And even there are some people who have also been revoked their nomination. Remember, there are some men who have been nominated. After they find out that you are a man, they are revoking. And also some of these leaders, they go to an extent of nominating their side chicks. That one is very much important. So even you find out some side chick or a woman might be someone who maybe because they have a relationship between a man, now it amounts to nomination. And there are those women who are qualified to be leaders in this country and who can also legislate, and at the same time they can oversight. They are missing opportunities because they cannot go to the extent of those women whom they have gone to that extent of pleasing such leaders. And we have seen them in the county assemblies. There are some of them, some can be widows, or some can be maybe a CDF manager. If my CDF manager have like two wives or three wives, I can decide to nominate for him one of the wives. So I'm rewarding my CDF manager by nominating the wife. And also the issue of Oroba. Oroba sometimes even she was protesting. She was putting a long trouser with a colored paint. I think she was protesting the issue of women. So she began to protest long time ago against the administration. She tends to rely with the people. She tends to align with the people where people were, and she was marked. And one day she was going to be shown the door, and actually that was what has happened to her. So significantly, we are losing sometimes the good people or leaders because we reward our friends or we reward our loyalists, those people. So we reward loyalists over competence. I think that's where we are now losing the leadership part of it.
Okay, thank you. And I also I know you also have a history of one senator, a nominated senator, who sometimes the words that usually she speaks does not go well with the public based on what she's commenting about. And those are now questions that we need to ask at what is the criteria that of nominating somebody, and if you nominate, what impact role do they bring to the society? Do they meet the leadership, that the threshold of leadership, or is just as nomination, provided that the party has forwarded your name, then you are nominated? So that is something, a conversation that will be going on for quite some time, and we will keep on following. We will keep on following the case of Orioba, and we will also give comparison and look at what impact does it have on the society, especially if you're nominated. Because like in the major, if you look at in major democracies or major countries, there is the nomination of elective seats. These are not there. They are not provided, but in our country we've always had those. Now, just a recap, and I want to get your view. There's something also that is happening, and there are videos going around on the internet about yesterday. As you know very well, that yesterday there was launching of Mukuru houses, affordable houses, by the president. But now, today, I've seen almost 2 videos, very critical. There's one guy who had a red shirt and a dread on him. He was on the line receiving the money, because like the people who are given the money, that is a video going around, and he also thanked the president for getting a house. But I was wondering, you got a house and you're still lining to get like 1,000 shillings. That is awesome. Then again, today there's also this video that is going around on the social media about the police and eviction. I don't know how true it is, but it's in the social media. So to start with you, Marco Miguda, did you see that, and what does it mean if it is true that people are now being evicted again in a period of less than 24 hours?
Did you say I start or Miguda starts?
You can go ahead, then Miguda can come after you.
Okay.
I think I should go. She go first.
Yeah. Okay, Miguda, go ahead.
I was saying that I just muted, but I began talking. So I was saying the issue you have just raised. Actually, I've seen the video,
Yeah.
and in my conclusion, someone who has got the capacity to purchase a house, how can he goes ahead to line for a handout? You know, it's not logical. Even me personally, I don't have the capacity to purchase the house, but I cannot make a queue for a 1,000 bob. I can't take that much queuing for 1,000 bob. I rather walk out. I can get it somewhere. Maybe if he bring it to me. So if me, I can't line for 1,000 bob, and me, I got no capacity to purchase a house. So how about someone who has got the capacity to purchase a house, lining for 1,000 bob? I think that is part and parcel of the PR of Mr. President. Those are the people who have been paid, and they have been given instructions on how to conduct themselves in various functions of Mr. President. So some people also, after they have been paid for carrying out that activity of the PR, they must be paid again for handouts. I think you understand such a person, so it's getting double, and that is maybe it is good for him, because you understand their lifestyle. People are now suffering such things, so people, you can even get double. It's not an offense for them to get those money, because those are their money. And you also asked me the issue of now going forward as the people who came out. Now, what does the reflection of the society? And because the houses were new, and even the launch was made to be real, and people were also shouting that Kumibila break. So if the opponent attacked Mr. President, the people who were shouting that Kumibila break were paid. No, it's something that you cannot come to defend that they were not paid, because they are even, we call them video evidence that they are proving that actually there was a mess in that launching of that house, the house project.
Okay, thank you so much. And before Makubura comes in, and that's why sometimes kwa Kiswahili huwa anasema kwamba tunaishi maisha ya kuigiza, hatuishi maisha ya kihalisia. Tunaigiza sana maisha, na tukiigiza sana maisha itafanya ile we don't get the reality. It was a very good project, yes, but kama tunaweza igiza kwa the project, then I don't think it will be good. Whether it is PR or not, the houses have been built and everyone with eyes can see through. It has, and we agree with you 100%. Mr. Makobura, let me see what Irene is saying here. I have a question that needs to be answered. How can you pay bedsitter for 30 years and it becomes yours? Does it mean that the government does it mean that the government 30 years, does it mean the government has no vision of Kenya improving themselves within those years? That is a question. And one of the things that also we were asking is about the ownership, because if what is the ownership immediately after paying? Yeah, are you going to get the certificates to give you in the event, because this is it acts like a loan, in the event that you default for paying rent, what are the repercussions? This is what Makubura, sorry, the money was for photo shoots. The slum people were being evicted today. They were to leave after a job, but some of them refused to leave. Rumors has it 500 jobless were recruited for the project. Yeah, okay, those are things on the public domain. Thank you, because that is something that we are seeing on the video. Thank you so much, Mr. Makubura. What is your take?
You've asked about the video that is circulating.
Yep.
I also saw the video, and I saw quite a number of youths. They were lined up, and from the video, I would see they were being given 1,000 tutu, 1,000. So meaning they were supposed to take 500. But I think that has always been the way politics is played, and we've had so many politicians talk about money being given to citizens or people so that they can appear for political party rallies, so that they can appear for PR activities. And being that it is like a political lifestyle that is in Kenya, such a thing was expected. And being that, remember, the houses which were being given were around 1,080. But the number of people who really lives in that area, the Mukuru, Kwajenga, Mukuru, Kwaruben, there are so many people. And so the number of houses which were being given were not really enough. But you understand there are some which are still being built. But the question again would just come, just like you asked, why would you make youths or people to line up to be given 500, and at the same time, these are the people that you want to give houses? I don't know whether they will afford, if truly they are the people who are now being given the houses as well. But from what we saw, there were other videos again which were circulating, and they were saying that some of them were given money so that they can do the PR things. It is normal in the political limelight. We've seen such kind of things, and being that the president himself was going there, he's known of such kind of way of trying to make it happen like everything is okay. We saw them, of course, speaking about two-term. Of course, you can't get excited when you're given a house, and that's a fact, and they have their political stance as well. But what we are waiting to see is whether the terms, the contract that was there is going to be respected, because if it is not respected, then it is going to go against it's going to go against so many things. Remember, those people were given houses based on the amount of money, for example, that they earn. If you increase it from the 3,900 plus a service fee of 300 to something else, then automatically it might affect their how they operate. and the affordability in terms of their basic needs. So the
Okay.
government has to do much, but again, there are still so many questions that are still being asked that are not really clear. But we hope, because the house is there, yes, who is managing the house and where are they getting the money to do the management and everything? I'm quite sure there are other charges which are there, but we are not being told. It could be that you're not being told at this particular time because of the excitement and because of it is a project that the president has really talked about and he wants to leave a legacy of having done something. But I'm quite sure the cost is not that going to be easy for them to bear, and you will just hear that there are some charges which will be there.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you so much, Makobura. And what sometimes makes me happy is this. There's when you listen to some of the old musicians, live to DCC, Milimani, all wakongwe wale wa mziki ambao walikuwa naimba mziki kitambo. Ukisikiza mawimbo zao ama mashairi zao zina mafunzo. Kuna wimbo inaimba naomba tu achane mimi na wewe. Then kuna place inasema ukifungwa jela itajulikana, mwisho wa mwezi itajulikana. And it is that everything that it's done, yeah? Ukweli itajulikana, kwa sababu tusiweke ukweli kuwa adui wetu, yeah? Ukweli hata kama ufanye vipi, kama kuna jambo umefanya jambo la busara lako litaonekana. Itafika siku ambapo ukweli itajitoa waziwazi. Na inanikumbusha pia wakati tulikuwa katika shule, ukipata kama mtoto wa shule, sana sana msichana mtoto wa shule, unajua ukipata kama ako na mimba na bado ako shule, jambo la kwanza atafanya ni kwamba ataanza kuvaa sweta hata kama jua kuna waka, ili azibe mtu asijue, lakini ikifika ile wakati itaonekana waziwazi. So which means everything that we do, whether you do it right or you do it wrong, at some point the truth will be there. Thank you so much everyone for joining. If you're joining Brother Benson for the very first time, please subscribe so that we can continue having this conversation. This is what my text says. Some people are spreading rumors about places they've never been to, are 1,000 of miles away. Yes, but we have photos, we are seeing them. So maybe if you can also provide us with the information so that we can encounter those rumors, so that we give our viewers credible and facts information. Yusuf, the car doctor, we the people with power in the constitution of this great nation have allowed this to happen. Si mulinyamaza salary ipunguzwe, si mulikubali mimi niliwacha payslip niliwachia. Asante sana. Thank you so much. And we are just speaking about things that we are seeing going around on the social media. It's just a recap, isn't it? Is it true? And if somebody is in those areas, just please confirm to us whether that is true. Today, again, there's a conversation that is going on again about the neighbor. We are talking about our neighbors. And today I listened to the Senate, a member of the Senate, talking about the deportation of Martha Karua and even how Kenyans have been treated, especially in Uganda, and activists. Now, so many things I've raised. I was listening to one of the lawyers, especially from Tanzania, and he said something that was, I think, was really factual, that jumuiya ya East Africa wako na mahakama yao Arusha. Inamaanisha kuwa Wakenya wamekubaliwa kwenda huko. Pili, anasema activism is not a crime. Miguda, wewe ndio mtu ambaye ana mambo ya sheria. Kauli yako ni vipi kwa hayo maneno? Kwa sababu hata ukiangalia katika our passports, Edwin Sifuna too said it, that we have a green passport that says East Africa. What is your take on it?
The issue of deporting Martha Karua and fellow activists.
Yeah.
in their own view or with their own rules, they are at liberty to decide how they want to run the affairs of their country,
Yeah.
and we are not in dispute. So whether they allow them to get to their country or disallow them, first it is within their jurisdiction to decide what they want to do with the East African community.
Yeah.
But because you have talked about the issue of East African Court of Justice established in Arusha, I'd just like to also tell you that not only East African Court of Justice, but also under the Banjul Chartered, we have established the African People's Rights Court in Arusha. Actually, the African Court for the people's right is also in Arusha, which was established under the Banjul Chartered. So we have two significant courts in Tanzania. Because we are members of the East African community, so our court of East African community is in Arusha. At the same time, we are Africans, and our court for the people's right is in Arusha, Tanzania. So if you want to also relate to the issue of the international relations,
Yeah.
I believe that, like I've said yesterday, even that Tanzanian president, sometimes she can even seek an asylum back here in Kenya because of the political persecution or maybe religion or race. It can happen to us one day in life because we are still around. Remember, even some of us who were accused of the failed coup d'etat ran to Tanzania to seek for an asylum, but later
Yes.
they were brought back under the authority of Tanzania to the Kenyan for conviction. Such things can happen, but because we are neighboring countries, I think we should just allow that freedom of movement to our neighbors, even to engage, because we cannot only engage in terms of economic, but even cultural and also political engagement. We
Yeah.
can do it as the people. So the fact that Tanzania is one of us as the East African community, and the legal system of the East African community and the African at large, most of the fundamental institutions are established in Arusha. I believe that we are free to move to Tanzania. Same time, we are free to also exercise our political views with the neighboring country. But I'm not in dispute that it is within their prerogative to decide on whom they want into their country or not. But it's not that we are forcing ourselves. That's why when they were disallowed, they came
Yeah.
back to the country, and right now we have them here in our country.
We are
So
still
that is their own
missing.
jurisdiction.
We are still missing Boniface
Even
Mwangi.
though one is missing in action, but we do not know where he is. But I was concerned about Martha Karua and the CJ Emeritus, Dr. William Mutunga. Those ones we have confirmed we are with them in our country, but there's nothing we can do. But facts must remain that our two important institutions are established in Arusha, and whenever want to seek for justice, we might seek further avenues to go to those countries, to go to Tanzania to seek our rights and also to seek other legal interpretation. So it is very important also them to understand that we were not invited in East Africa. No one invited us in Africa. We have found ourselves by default to be people of Africa. Therefore, even if they are deciding for whom they want to their country or not, they should also understand that it is beyond what they are thinking. It's beyond politics. It's go to an extent that even the legal system extend to their country. I think that is what should be noted.
Okay, and maybe you can also explain to us, because you find that when such cases of magnitude, especially dealing with the issue to do with the treason, you find that other countries would always send, or people in the legal team would come and witness such cases. I can remember when we had the case of Raila Amolo Odinga versus President Kenyatta for election petition, where Justice Maraga ruled. There are so many countries that came, especially people in the law profession, just to witness about this and to see how it's going to go. because for treason, you know, in a country like Tanzania, that is a very high profile case. And you find like the Tanzania seems not to be very comfortable with they're not at peace with the legislatures coming in to be part of that conversation. What fear do they have in them? Because some of these cases sometimes may be used as a precedent in other jurisdictions. What fear do you think they have?
Not that the people are fearing, but the administration is the one who is in fear, because the administration actually they are likely to charge the accused with treason. But even here in Kenya, treason is capital offense. Treason is one of the capital offense in most of the jurisdiction within the common law system. If you go to most of the common law states, things like treason, murder, manslaughter, those are treated as capital offense. And I believe that because you understand, if you interact with the Tanzanians, for those of us who are privileged to interact with them, they are saying that Kenyan people are highly educated. Kenyan people know too much when it comes to governance, when it comes to legal system. And Kenyan people, they are blessed with brains, but the only thing that is wrong in the Kenyan state is that Kenyans are corrupt. And they are actually think that if you can stop corruption, you can go far. But with them, they have been forced to be peaceful, and they are not that much advanced, but the corruption is a bit little. So they are fearing that if the Kenyan people are allowed, because even during the time where we have Raila versus Kenyatta, we saw some jurists who came to witness the ongoing case in the Supreme Court of the Republic of Kenya. But lately, right now, they understand that because people like Martha Karua, they are remarkable lawyers in the community, East African community, because the other day you saw advancing the BCJ case in Uganda. People like Mutunga, they are remarkable activists. And if they are going to be, they are going to aid someone to defend the treason, it can be more of advance into that case. So I believe that by disallowing them to their country is going to allow them to deal with that person at their level as per Tanzanians laws, because you understand their laws also to some extent they are not that advanced with our laws, because they to some extent because they don't have their constitution which is written by them themselves, unlike us where we have our own constitution. So they are likely to apply those common laws in accordance with the provisions by the colonial masters, unlike us whereby we are operating under our laws, which was promulgated in 2010. Those factors alone can make them not to allow the people who are well known to go to Tanzania to advance the case of the accused person. That's why I think that it is good for the administration of Tanzania, but not for the person, because the person also might advance further legal avenues. That's why I was introducing the issue of East African Court of Justice and the African People's Court in Arusha.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Miguda, for your explanation. And it is a case study, especially in East Africa. And I think this is something new that is happening in Tanzania, especially for the very first time under the leadership of Mama Suluhu Hassan, because it has never happened even under the presidency that we've had under Jakaya Kikwete, under Mwinyi, and Mwalimu himself, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. And I don't think that if Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere would be alive, I don't think like he would have allowed of such to happen, because in his speech, his speeches, when you listen to some of his speeches, was about liberation. There was a time he was saying Watanzania wanatafuta kiongozi ambaye atapigana na rushwa. Akasema kwamba unaona, akaongea kauli nyingine pia aliongea kwamba tusigawanywe katika msingi ya kukabila ama dini. But unajua, so kulingana na maneno yake ama maono yake ambayo alikuwa nayo, sidhani kama angekubali maneno kama haya ifanyike nchini kwake. angewachia Watanzania uhuru kuchagua yule rais ambao labda wanapenda. Hata kuna siku alisema Watanzania wataangalia kama watapata kiongozi ndani ya CCM, wataitafuta mahali. Ipo katika hotuba zake ambazo alikuwa nazo katika kongamano kubwa za CCM. Kama unaweza ona hizo kanda zake, itakupatia picha ya mtu rais Julius Kambarage Nyerere alikuwa nani kulingana na maono yake. Thank you so much, Makobura. So Miguda's talk of people, leaders like Martha Karua, who has also been seen in Uganda trying to or persecuting a case, especially that is for Kizza Besigye. Do you feel maybe they felt like with Martha Karua coming in might make their cases quite much weaker, or what?
Okay. Martha Karua is a senior lawyer, and she's also an activist. She's an activist who has stood firm in matters of human rights, and I like the fact that she goes out of her way. She goes out of the Kenyan territory to fight for the rights of other Kenyan people, of which it is one of the best thing. When lawyers are being admitted to the bar, when they are being given the mandate to now continue with their profession, there's an oath that they do take, and part of it is protecting the Constitution, defending the Constitution, and also the rights of the people. So she's actually doing a good thing, going around trying to ensure that the rights of others, not just the right of the people of Kenya, but the right of our brothers and sisters in the East African society or community, are also respected. We've seen rogue government leaders, come up with rules and laws which are going against the rights of others, and especially the opposition side. And this is one of their way of trying to ensure that the rogue leaders, together with their cronies, they continue with the leadership of oppressing the people, and also ensuring that they amass wealth in those specific countries. So whenever you see them trying to fear or trying to block activists, that clearly tells you that they are not ready for change. They are not ready to allow the bad things that they are doing in those specific countries to be exposed to the entire world. And it is a tactic that is being used by the people of African leaders. Why would you stop an activist? Why would you stop someone who is just coming out to fight for the right of others from getting into your country? Because what we've seen leaders come and go. The position that they do hold, they'll not hold it milele na milele. We've seen leaders get into office, they mistreat people, but once they're removed from those specific offices, they also find it tough even staying in their own countries, and they've always fled to other countries. And the same way they would want to be treated is the same way that others also would want to be treated. Them, they don't see this. Go to Congo. Congo had so many problems, and part of it was the political leaders. Today, Congo is still having serious problems, courtesy of problems which were started by oppressive leaders who did not want their bad views to be exposed to the world, leaders who did not want people, activists, to come out and defend the right of others. Today, some of them are actually arrested, and they want activists now to come out and try salvage or try assist them in getting justice. And this is the problem that we have as the people of Africans. Once we are in a safer place, we tend to forget that anything can happen. We tend to forget that power is something that will never last. Power is something that comes and goes. we misuse power. The moment we get into power, it gets into our minds, it gets into our head. We try, we fail to reason, we fail to think about others, we fail to think about the future. And, what normally happens is that these specific people, they think that the world ni kama dunia imefika hapo, and it's unfortunate. It was unfair for the government of Tanzania to go against the rights of the people of Kenya from getting into that country to do and what they're known best for. And if they're blocking activists from getting into their countries, I can tell you it is going to erode the relationship that is there between the two countries, and not just the two countries, but the East African community, because we'll get to a point where leaders will start oppressing people and they will start blocking, activists or people with good intent from getting into their countries as a way of, escaping or blocking people from getting to know what is the reality. I saw the same conversation going on in at the Senate.
Yeah.
And I was seriously surprised by one Senator Cherargei coming out to, he was actually saying that it was good that the president of Tanzania did not allow the busybodies, according to his the term that he used, the busybodies. And the busybodies, according to him, were Martha Karua, the CJ Emeritus, the Boniface Mwangi, among others. It is so unfair that, the Chief Justice Emeritus, Martha Karua, and others, non-activists, are now being called by a representative of the people, a lawmaker, who is supposed to ensure that the relationship between the two countries are respected. Instead of them coming to criticize that move by the other president, because it is going against the relationship, the East African culture and the relationship that has been enjoyed by the two, not just the two, but the East African community. And one thing that I can also say is that it is not late. We remember what happened during the government of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, when before the handshake. You remember the government of Uhuru Kenyatta and William Samoei Ruto, they were seriously torturing the people of Kenya. They were seriously torturing the politicians who were on the opposite side. But when the handshake came, the members of parliament who were supporting William Samoei Ruto then, they were also seriously tortured. They was, their rights were, they did not enjoy anything. They saw what we call their constitutional rights were not respected. And we hoped that, having gone through that, they were going to come and give us a better government. It is so unfortunate that we are not getting that better, government. I remember the words of then Senator James Orengo saying that this government that you as today supporting, it is going to do worse things to you. And it happened. Today, part of those people who came into this government, having faced difficult, bad things, instead of now remembering that, what, we went through this, it was not easy, let us not do it to these other people. Today, Cherargei is coming out to criticize a move that would help him, forgetting that power is transient. And I like the comments of one Senator Boni Halwale. He is a UDA member of parliament. But of late, I salute Boni Halwale. He has stood with the people of Kenya. He has stood, good debater. I heard him, I saw him say specifically that Cherargei needed to withdraw the statement that he made. But I can tell you, he didn't withdraw. He was protected by the speaker. So unfortunate. But we shall get at the right time. As a people.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Makubura. And I want also to add on the comment on what you've said. You know, one thing that usually stands out, there's one thing that binds us. It's a Kenyan. Once a US citizen is in trouble in other country, one of the priorities or one of the first thing that the government in place should do should make sure that you secure the release or know the whereabouts of your citizen. It's happening in the major countries without looking at affiliation. In major countries, especially when you look at the United States, they can have the political differences in their Senate or during the political, but anything that touching on American will always come first, especially when the areas where the Americans are, maybe there's a war or what and what, you know, they will always make sure that the life of Americans are protected, and they will make sure that even they bring them back home. That is usually the priority. It doesn't matter what have you been criticizing the government or what. One thing that binds you is Kenyan. So any treatment that is done, unlawful treatment that is done to Kenyans or to a Kenyan, that is an injury to the country. So I think as a member of parliament, there's some of the things that we do not bring in personal politics into them, because I know you don't agree with Martha Karua on his art of politics. You don't sell in her ideology or in her ways, the way she does her politics, but that is politics. But now when it comes to her going through that in another country, at least that Kenyaism can come. You
I
can
don't know.
show us that Kenyaism.
I don't know whether you also saw in quotes the super CS. Is it? I mean the what? The prime whatever.
But
I don't know. I don't know how they call him.
the explainer yesterday by
I don't know
Yvonne
whether you
Okwara.
saw.
Yeah.
No, he was actually being hosted. Was it this morning or today? And he was asked about the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unfortunate that we have such kind of leaders in the Republic of Kenya, and in this in this period, because we do not have people who can defend. They do not know what it means. Just like what you said, they did not. There's nothing that they did. He was asked. They said that there's nothing they did. According to him, those people went to cause chaos in someone's country, and even congratulated the fact that they were deported. And you ask yourself, that is the prime cabinet secretary, that the people of Kenya, and also I don't know, the minister of foreign whatever.
Um,
And
yeah.
when he was asked, it's so unfortunate. I think I want to beba ufala. But I want to tell you one thing: the people of Kenya are watching for real. The people of Kenya are watching. They are seeing the kind of jokes that that are being played by the political class. They know who is serious in this country. They know who is not serious. They know the true leaders and those who are not true leaders. I
Okay.
remember he was also asked about the relationship between United States of America and
Yeah.
Kenya,
Mm-hmm.
and specifically the comments of the senator or the chair of that senator from America, who had raised issues about the relationship between the two countries.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying that they had written to him and requested him to come to Kenya so that they can explain to him. Are we a colony of United States of America? And not just that, but is that how matters of diplomacy are handled? It is so unfortunate. We do not have leaders.
I think
Mudavadi should be removed from that particular seat. He
mhm.
does not have what it takes to run that docket. He should just resign and go rest with his grandchildren back at home.
You see, let me tell you, if you look at the administration, especially what usually happens in our politics, and we're just about we want to jump to that, and we want to look at the old tricks, especially in politics. Is it going to play? It is going to have significance, especially in the next general election. We are going to talk about that. You know, when you look at the politics of our country, and even on how we give positions, I think like sometimes position we don't give them on merit, because especially like the prime cabinet secretary is somebody who he did, I think his profession is about land economics, and land economics usually deals with valuations. If you've been in a financial institutions, especially when you want to value the land, the valuation report, especially you want to do valuation for book purposes, you want to do valuation for insurance purposes, you want to do valuation for record keeping, or you want to do valuation to secure. So he's a land economist, So, and when it comes to the international relations, yeah, I think now what could have happened, he could have seek the advice of the supporting staff, those who understand when it comes to public relations. And if you're very keen, there was a time during the time when the AU campaigns were going on. There's something that Onyonka said, if you're very keen, if you recall, on how the Tanzanian used to campaign, especially, I don't know, there was one position about World Health something. They used their foreign ministries on how to reach out to these countries, And he was saying that the approach we took was one of the worst. It was expensive with no effect or with no impact, But now that's why, like I said, that the people that surrounds him, who should be experts, or the people who are training that particular, who have gone to school, have knowledge in that particular area, could have given advice on how this matter could be handled, So
these
that is
people
something that
are not accepting advice. These people are not, the leaders we have are not accepting advice. That is one thing that you should know. It has been confirmed by quite a number of cabinet secretaries who exited, and they're saying that these people are experts on their own, and they believe that their minds and their thinking is what is final, and that is what they want to use. They will never
okay,
consult experts. The same
okay,
has been even in this issue of housing. Things are just done without proper thinking, without proper structure. They're supposed to come and seek for advices from professionals. And that is why there's what we call professionalism in the Republic of Kenya. That is
yeah,
why people go to do specific courses in the university or in the colleges. It is so
yeah,
unfair that they are not even respecting what professions is all about. They are being given a position. I mean, they're being given they're being appointed to lead a specific docket instead of engaging people who have knowledge in that, instead of making proper arrangement and proper, you know, uh, proper way of doing things. They do
yeah.
not consult them. They think and knows that once you've been appointed, you have what it takes, you can do it, and you will do it. They don't care about what they're doing. They only care about getting salary and also holding those positions.
Okay, thank you so much. And I don't know how the case of Aisha Jumwa, he was in the engineering what as a what, and I think they went to court. I don't know how that case ended, but anyway,
And maybe before I forget this, and if you
yeah.
want a confirmation uh, of why experts are not consulted,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember this which government was that? Which there's a president who came who was saying that he had an engagement with the president and Mudavadi.
No,
You know,
no, he was a CEO of a certain gas company.
yeah, he
Oh,
was a president of a specific company that they spoke. These
oh,
guys. You know,
I know his name. I can remember. I know his name.
yeah. If you remember that incident, and the
Mhm.
comments of that particular leader, he was very specific. And what he was speaking about, if you are keen to do an analysis of that, he was saying that the gentlemen are not consulting with, experts in those
Mm,
specific fields.
mm,
And as much as they know what they want,
mhm.
as much as they know where they want to go, but they do not know the repercussions and everything that the consequences of each and every step that they were making. And that is what
Mhm.
that so-called president was talking about, you may have a slight knowledge about a specific topic or about a specific thing, but it is good to respect the fact that there are other people who are expert in that specific thing, and when they're giving you advices, you are supposed to take advices from them because it is their profession, it is, it is what they've studied.
Okay, thank you so much, Makobura. And let me take this opportunity to thank everyone in the comment section for engaging with us. We really, really appreciate everything that you're doing and making this conversation going on. And we want to switch gears a little bit and look at the politics now, because we were just talking about the issues that to deal with governance. And now we know right now the DCP is a party that is still new in the block, and it's getting traction. Yesterday I was seeing I read somewhere that it has gained almost within a period of 4 point something members. I'm not very sure. I don't have the data with me. But there's something that also we need to discuss and look at it critically, because, when you look at the Kenyan politics, the politic machine has always run on the tribal fuel, and this have always been mastered. This has always been a game that has been mastered by the politicians, rallying their ethnic loyalties to secure the throne. The throne here, I mean the presidency or the leadership, whereby what usually is a fuel that runs that machine is we bring in our politics, and we bring in our politics, and bring in our kings and all that. And if you look at it, even right now, when you listen to how the political class are describing Rigathe's party, it's that a tribal politics, is a tribal party. That is what they say. But if you give comparison of all the political parties and put them, or you give them very, very, very screening, I don't think their DNA, the DNA of those political parties are different from the DNA of Rigathi Gachagua. One, all these political parties, they originate from a particular region, where the region identify themselves with these particular parties, where they have their support base. Yeah, yeah. And because that is the fuel or the engine fuel that usually runs our politics, is about the politics of one presidency. What we want to be a president, that is one. Secondly, it's also about the tribe where you're coming from. So, which are very sensitive, and they are usually very emotional driven. Yeah, they drive people emotionally. So when we're looking at 2027 general election, and we have this constituency that has come in, the Gen Z constituency or the youth constituency, that sometimes the machine of the tribe is not part of them. That there's a generation that is not even swayed by the transactional politics. They might take your money, but they will still tell you the truth. And we saw that today with what happened in Mukuru, when the other day they were singing 10 bila break, kumi bila break, and today they were saying one term. So they are not very, very, I would say that you cannot be guaranteed of their support. And this has become very difficult, especially to politicians to come up with a strategy on how can we deal with them. That is one. Secondly, also when it comes to the technology, they've advanced in technology whereby they keep on coming up with the new ideas. Today, if you remember what Yoko the Bull was using to draw the cartoons, now it's quite different. There's an AI that has come out, and each and every time they come up with the new technology. So let us look at it and ask ourselves, will they fall in the trap of the tribalism? Will they fall in the trap of transactional politics, or they will fall in the trap of issue-based in 2027? And are they going to make significance in the politics? As also we look into that, we are looking at the headache that the president might be having, because sincerely speaking, let us not lie to ourselves. There's a headache of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who has consistently said that I'm not in government. Consistently say that. But his allies says we are in government. And also we have Rigathi Gachagua with a new party that seems to be having traction in the mountain. So you look at how will the president himself control the Rigathi Gachagua effect and also control what the Right Honorable Prime Minister is saying, that I'm not in government, yet you want his support. And that one even was mentioned by Alice Wahome 2 days ago, and challenge the ODM is either you support or quit. So how is the president going to handle this? That's politics, and that is what is happening. Miguda, let me start with you.
You have brought the issue of political parties in the country and also being tribal based. First, there are political parties. I'll just begin by asking a question. Which political party is not tribal? All these political parties are tribal based. And there's no political party which can say that this one is not tribal. So there is no offense Rigathi Gachagua has committed by bringing in DCP, and now DCP is being given names like District Commissioner Party or District Committee Party. Let Rigiji also, like other Kenyans, form his political party, because it is not only meant for few Kenyans to have their political party. We brought the multi-party democracy in the country. And when the multi-party democracy was brought, actually the people are fighting Rigathi Gachagua are the people who brought multi-party democracy. So why were they bringing it? It was brought so that we can have diverse parties in the country, because the diverse nature of our tribes, not only tribes, even we are diverse in terms of professional, even we are diverse in many aspects. So it is good for people to have many parties. That one I am encouraging that let each and every person, even if you want to form a new party tomorrow, form it, because it is an research in the constitution that Kenya is a multi-party democracy. That one, I'm very much happy to have many parties in the country, because that's what, as a country, we have history that once we were a single party state, and we know what happened to our country, whereby the only route to parliament was Kanu, and Kanu was being micromanaged by the president by then. And some people with good ideas and good thoughts could not make their way to parliament because of dictatorship and multi-party and single party state. We are enjoying the fruits of multi-party democracy, whether it is a goat party, a zebra party, whatever party, let it be known that Kenya is a multi-party democracy state. We have brought issue of the Gen Z, the technology. And I just want to say that the reason why the parliament was breached last year is because of technology. The people were mobilized on TikTok, on X Spaces.
Your network,
People were mobilized.
Miguda, can you check your
Can you hear me?
check your sound? Check
Am I clear right now?
Yeah.
Am I
Check your. I think there's a crack on your on your. Can you please check it, please, sir? Then we can continue with the conversation. I think there's a problem with the Miguda. Sorry for that, and I hope Miguda is going to fix it right now. Oh, Makubura, can you go ahead?
Am I clear right now, or you are not getting me?
You can log out. You can log out and then you log in again. Yeah, so you've asked about the new party in the Mount Kenya region. Of course, it is going to play a lot in terms of politics, and it's going to shake any other political party that has been in the Mount Kenya region. Being that what normally happens is when you see a political wave coming, and then you strategically join that wave when it is still new, there's a possibility of people coming out to to also try being in that wave. So I can categorically say here that DCP is going to get more support from the Mount Kenya region going forward, and parties like Jubilee still has a lot. They're not going to find it easy in terms of penetrating the political landscape in the Republic of Kenya. Remember, DCP is coming after a betrayal, a political betrayal, I would call it so. After the president and the deputy president had, differed, and out of that differences, we saw an impeachment. We saw the deputy president being impeached. And then this is a party that is being formed with when the emotions of people are high. And I'm quite sure from my political analysis side, I can say that most of political movements in the Republic of Kenya and also political supports that we've always seen, majority of it are emotional driven, and also they're also based on tribe. And I can give you a typical example of what happened to UDA. UDA was formed when the former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta had political differences with the deputy then, William Samoei Ruto. And out of that differences, the deputy president decided to form his political party. And, the people's emotions were swayed in a way that, the level of sympathy towards the deputy president then was high. And probably that is the reason why we saw the deputy formed a political party, and then within no time, it was, a majority of people had joined the UDA and they were supporting it. I would call that as emotional driven party based on everything that the deputy together with the Tanga Tanga group were going through. I would, of course, equate the DCP with how UDA came into limelight. And I can categorically say that the Mount Kenya region are fully going to support the DCP. Of course, there are so many parties within the Mount Kenya region, but the bigger party that would have higher take in that region is the DCP. And then the question will then come that will they then field the presidential candidate? That is something that they will decide. But based on the on what is currently on the ground, there's a huge call of the Mount Kenya region and specifically the DCP to support other regions. It is a discussion which is still going on. Maybe we are yet to see, because the former deputy president has also come out to categorically say that he is the only serious presidential candidate, that all these other ones that have declared their interest have not come out to to show the people of Kenya that they're truly interested. But that is a discussion that would be going on as things, political narrative change here and there. We will get to fully understand how it would be played.
Okay, thank you so much, Miguda. I hope now you've corrected. Have you sorted out your audio issue, please, sir?
You can tell me if I'm clear.
Yeah, you're clear now. Yeah, yes, go ahead, brother.
Okay, let me just make my final submissions. I was saying, actually, I was just bringing the issue of internet. We made it, or the Gen Z made it to parliament because of the mobilization by the internet. And you cannot ignore those silhouettes or those cartoons you are seeing. They are being generated by AI, by the people, because those are the reasons why people ended up to parliament. And also, right now, they have introduced, in fact, each and every day, there are some new creativity on the internet. And right now, there are some small kids. If you have seen them around, they are cute. They are trying to reflect the image of the politicians. And I still believe that it is very fundamental tool to use for a revolution. And it's also good for young people also to participate in the decision making of the country, or to participate in the democratic exercise. If they cannot participate on the table, there are many areas you can participate, even on social media. We are encouraging young people to continue the good work, and we are not going to relent anytime soon. And also, the reason why regarding Gachagua's party has captured attention is because of the timing. Gachagua has a perfect timing compared to what Chama cha Kazi did, what Mwangi Waria's party did, what JB's party did, what Karua's party did. Gachagua has a perfect timing when the people of Mount Kenya were yearning for their own political party. So that one we must give Rigathi Gachagua credit where it's due. The timing was very good, and that's why he has captured the attention of the people across the country. Lastly, you have talked about the issue of the people in ODM insisting that they are in government, sometimes they are outside the government. How is it going to affect Ruto's presidency? And that is now up to Ruto to decide because he's the one who invited them to government, but they are playing hard to get. If you're playing hard to get, it's now very hard to deal with you. But as people who have been in politics, they know how they will find their way out of it. But just wanted to say one thing concerning the issue of in government and outside government. Which one is which? Because if you even come out to say that you are in government, people like SG are saying they are not in government. But if you come out and say that you are out of government, people like John Mbadi will come and force you to be in government. They want you to be in government by force. In fact, they want to kill you in government. And people are asking questions. Which government? Those are the simple questions they're asking. Anyway, I don't want to go far because you understand, people want you to, people want the citizens to cheer the government which they are not in. But the leaders, even Raila himself, said that he is not a minister in Ruto's government. He is not in government. And the party position is what Sifuna is saying. So you don't confuse the citizen. Then you want the citizen to align that they are in government. But the leadership is also confusing the people. The leadership are saying they are not in government, they are in government. And they want the citizens to be in government by force. And when you try to point out that with me, I'm not in government because the leader says so, you are being given names, so be it. What we know is the fact is there was a MOU between ODM and UDA, and ODM is in government. There's nothing like they're not in government. The people want to be in government, let them be in government. But the people don't want to be in government. Do not force anybody to be in government. Don't force people to support you. Don't force people where you want them to be. Allow people to be where they want to be. Because it is not only absolute for a leader to be in government and outside the government at the same time, but you want a citizen to have one stand. So let us respect each other when it comes to the decision making of the politics, because the people you want to respect are the electorates. They are the bosses who will ensure that either you get your Kumibila break or you one term.
Okay, thank you so much, and let me take opportunity to thank the following. And Godfrey the Prince, thank you so much. Godfrey the Prince, lakini utuambie the kingdom unatokea. Asante sana for joining. And speaking about what is happening, and you look at how the Right Honorable Prime Minister came into the government. We've talked about this, but it's something that keeps on coming up because it is not going. It is something that keep on coming up on the media everywhere that he is, because you will be always asked this question. And now there's that concern. Wait, we call it the convincing. Yeah, how will you convince your people that, or the people, your loyal fans, that okay, now we are in government and we need to do this because they have power that is there? And also, come to the Western Kenya, there's also something that is quite very much important going on about Natembeya, which we talked about. And today, after the release of Natembeya yesterday at night in Trans Nzoia, there was celebration, and they were still waiting Natembeya to go. They were still waiting to receive him. And when you look at that, the support of the Right Honorable Prime Minister was kind of like coming with the Western Kenya and let's say the Nyanza. And as things stand, is the president still guaranteed, or is it a long way to go, Mr. Makubura?
Okay. The politics of Western Kenya are changing, and it is changing because of the wave that came with the Gen Zs. Gen Zs, partly we have to accept the fact that they have made the political landscape and the political view, the political thinking, and the political arithmetic of the Republic of Kenya to change. It has changed in the national level. where we are seeing the president and the opposition leader, that, you know, two gentlemen who are not seeing eye to eye when it comes to, you know, working together. They are today working together. That has been made possible, of course, by the views of the views of Douglas Kibogo. Nini nilikukosea? Would you kindly justify what you're saying? I don't know. I don't know what you mean, because Kevin, I don't know. Maybe you can give us an explanation of what you are talking about. Yeah, so that's a fact that the Gen Zs change the political thinking, the everything about politics of the Republic of Kenya, because for the first time we saw the president and the former opposition leader working together, and now we are being told about the broad-based. It has also changed the politics of the entire nation, the entire Kenya. For the first time, we are seeing names of people who have not been in the limelight, the likes of Matiang'i, the likes of Natembeya, the likes of Babu Owino, the likes of Ndindi Onyoro, you know. And the reason why these names are coming up is because the youths or the Gen Zs felt that the gentlemen who have been in power for quite some time have not done justice to the people of Kenya. And for that reason, it is a political threat to them that they either wake up or the wave is going to sweep them. It has started changing even in the Western region. Remember, the Western region has been a base where politically it has been going any side. You know, it has been like a 50-50, going to the government side and also to the opposition side. And so currently the two senior leaders, that is Mudavadi and Watangula, are the senior politicians that are holding key positions. But remember, this the youths or the people of Western Kenya also not, majority of them are saying that they're not feeling, you know, the presence of government. They're not feeling the services of the government. And there's a clip yesterday that was also going around on the issue of Natembeya. And I remember those journalists were going county to county, and the people of Kakamega were all saying that they are no longer going to support Mudavadi and Natembeya. I mean, and the speaker, the current speaker, because they have not lobbied for developments to the home ground. And they were saying that they are going to continue supporting Natembeya because Natembeya, as he speaks, is speaking and representing the views of wale walalahoi ama wale ambao wako chini. Politically, it is going to come with a political weight, and he has advantages that the people of Kenya, and especially the youths, are mentioning his name. You know, when you are a politician and you hear people mention your name, and especially people are not from your county, then it comes with some advantage, because when matters of national negotiations are involved, then automatically you'd be on the table. And I can categorically say here that Natembeya has gained quite a number of followers within the Western region and also in the entire nation. Again, he's gained more based on the way the government has been misusing him, going against his right, appearing in courts, you know, having cases here and there. We are in Kenya, and we've seen people, whenever a leader that is loved by the people, whenever wakizungushwa wapelekwe koti, wawekewe maneno, they are the people that the voters would always side with.
Okay, speaking of that, because if you remember, you also saw what Cherargei, especially when he was in the floor of the house, say that people like Natembeya should, like he was very, very much categorical about Natembeya. which we've not seen with other governors. What is so special about Natembeya that you find like he was talking about it so passionately, like, and from his talk alone, it tells you maybe he has made conclusion that really Natembeya might have mismanaged the funds based on how he was talking. He was talking in the floor of the House.
It is a matter that has not been finished at the court, and it is a matter that is still going on. I've not really gotten the exact the specifics for that particular, but what I can say, just like I've said, my view is that remember I read for you the accusation. The reason why Natembeya was arrested, I shared with you here. It was based on, let me just have a look at it now. The 1 billion allegation of irregular procurement and fictitious payment of 1.4 billion, of course, by the governor, and together he was accused with quite a number of senior county government officials. And the investigation focus was on 3 major projects. And I mentioned one was rehabilitation and modernization of Kenyatta Stadium. Number 2 was construction of Trans Nzoia County Headquarter offices, construction of Tom Mboya Hospital.
Yeah.
And just like I said, these are just my views. These are ongoing projects. And from the views of the people, they are saying that the projects are being done well and that they have no problem with it. With how the projects are being done, according to them, everything is okay. And so from my understanding, I think such kind of investigation should be done after the completion of the project, so that they do evaluation of the project that has been done, and then they try to equate it with the money that was that has been used. That way, I believe from my side that they would be fair enough to the accused. Yeah. So maybe Douglas, I don't know. Douglas is saying Mark Kevin. So
okay,
I don't know.
Thank you so much, Douglas Kibogong. Let's say Mark Kevin. You have Kevin Makobura, so you have 2 names. Like Mark should be MC Mark Makobura. And Onesmus Kimani, thank you so much for joining us, and we really so much appreciate. Makobura, there's also something that we need to talk about, and I think yesterday when we were having our discussion, we talked about selectiveness, because I'm seeing today NICC has called out on Rigathi Gachagua, especially on his comments about 2027 general election. But there's so many comments that have been made by leaders, and the majority of people the majority of leaders do make such like comments, not even once, but we've never seen so much action taken on them. And yesterday we mentioned quite a few. We mentioned the one that was made by Honorable Sudi, especially telling that we've never seen a president going for 1 term, and Kama Tutajaza. There's also one that was made by Honorable Kamket. Those days, also the one for Chariregai that he brought a motion, or he wanted to introduce a bill in parliament to extend the term limit for the presidency. And especially if you look at, especially to narrow down on what an election, like if we don't get enough votes, we will stuff them in. Why was this one not taken with a lot of seriousness? Because where are you going to get the votes?
Yeah, me would say that was a selective amnesia that is being applied by the NCCA or whatever. Because first, I think we need to question the role that they are playing, because we've never seen them, solve something or called a politician, and then something is discussed, and then they come to the people of Kenya that this is what we've done, and going forward we are not going to see such a thing. To me, I think that is part of those things of NCSE should be disbanded. and all those people should be sent home because they are doing nothing, and there's nothing typical that they've done until the people of Kenya have come out to acknowledge and also to talk about or to give thumbs up. So those people are that group of people or in that department. To me, it is one that should be disbanded because we've never seen them do anything constructive to the people of Kenya as much as they are earning a lot of money. What I
Yeah,
can
because
say,
okay, go ahead.
what I can say is that regarding Gachagua being summoned by them, it was expected.
Yeah.
And even if he goes, I don't think there is anything new that would come out. I don't know whether they'll come with anything substantive. People have talked
Yeah.
issues, and people have talked using some terms which are not which are not okay. Douglas, we should give him a link so that he explains what he's talking about, because I'm not understanding his comments and what he's insinuating. I need to understand what you are insinuating, Douglas, and the beef. I don't know whether you're addressing me or you're addressing Migoda. I don't know. Yeah, so what was I even saying?
Your trail of thought.
Yeah, so Sudi has always commented and he has used words which are not really good. Not just him. We've seen politicians. We've seen the Mandera. I mean, we saw Faramali made comments which really warrants. That is a serious one. That really, if I was the president, possibly I would have called for his dismissal as a member of parliament because his words were divisive. His words were causing care. Were not. The intent was not really good. It was going against the rights of others, and there's nothing that was done to him. He came out after he was invited by the NCSC, and he was with the president, and he continued with the same conversation.
But
And
now,
even the people who are working with the president were acknowledging the fact that he's a
is an
senior,
elder.
he's an elder. He should be respected after abusing the people of Kenya. Where
but
on
now,
earth are we being genuine?
Makobura, my question is that we've seen the commission inviting and interviewing the people of Kenya. So many of them, ever since even it's not only on this administration, even during the Uhuru Kenyatta regime, but like we've never seen persecution or somebody saying that, okay,
That
the
is
work
what I
that
was
you pay.
speaking about.
So
Yeah.
what is the role if the main reason why the commission was put in place is to bring those who are saying or those who are having this
Causing
inflammatory
chaos or coming
causing
up with
chaos,
words which are divisive.
what were
To me,
divisive? But
maybe
you
they
talk to
need to
them,
appoint.
you
Maybe they
talk to
need to
them.
appoint for that position, because if I'm sitting outside the way I'm currently sitting outside, I can categorically say that you NCC whatever should be disbanded. Those people are earning a salary and they're doing nothing. There is no any case. There is no any politician who have. We have quite a number of them who have come out and talked bad to the people of Kenya. If they were truly serious, if you remember the conversation which was going on in the parliament, the expose by the BBC and the members of parliament giving their views, some saying that hao watu walikufa tusahau tuendelee. Hao watu, those are the members of parliament. That member of parliament was supposed to be called and action to be taken to them. We've never seen member of parliament or politician. We've never seen any action taken to them, and that is the reason why these people do not care. That is the reason why Sudi would abuse today and wait tomorrow, abuse tomorrow, and then the day after tomorrow he abuse. That is why the people like Farah Malim would say that they want to kill the Gen Zs and nothing will happen to them, because they know that NCCA or whatever is a toothless dog who does nothing and is there to just earn the salary.
Okay, thank you so much, Makubura, and I hope we are just nearing to wind up, and I want to bring in Miguda. Miguda, in your recollection, ever since, because I think that the first person to have this commission was Kibunja. I cannot remember, but I know his name was starting. But ever since this commission came into place until today, is there any prosecution that has been done, especially for the leaders who have made these inflammatory remarks, especially the inciting words, or it's just a matter of just talking to them, hey, unajua wewe uliongea hapa vibaya bana, usirudie, wacha hivyo. Lakini hakuna tuseme kwamba hakuna ile hatua inachukuliwa kwa wale ambao wanasema maneno ambao labda zinaweza kuwa ni za uchochezi. Sauti kwa nani? Kwangu ama kwa nani? Hakuna sauti. On my side or who?
On my side, I can hear you.
Okay, let me check. Ani, habari ya wewe. Thank you so much for joining. Just let me know from my side or whose side? Gibson Corner, Douglas Kibogong, can you hear me or no? Okay,
I can hear you. Maybe our viewers, if you can confirm to us if you can hear us, kindly at the comment section.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, Ben, you're okay. So you can just come back. I think you're okay.
Okay, now you can hear me. So Miguda, I was just asking you, maybe in your recollection, if there is any other leader who has been charged or a case has been especially brought to book, especially on inflammatory remarks, or they're doing on their campaigns or on their daily basis, with this commission, ever since it was brought in place?
The intention was good. The commission was brought into place, the NCIC, and even the last time I saw it tried. No, it is a dog that can't bite. The last time I saw it tried this when the people like Junet, Moses Kuria, Kunjiri Wambugu, Aisha Jumwa were once taken to police custody, where women were taken to Mudaiga police and men were taken to a certain cell. I think that's the last time they tried. But since then, I've never seen them taking action against any leader seriously in this country. So I think it was a good idea anyway. But you understand, they are operating under the basic rights and fundamental freedoms, whereby basically the freedom of expression. And the freedom of expression, you understand that you are at liberty, you can say anything. You can even insult me or abuse me. It is only limited on 3 grounds: that provided that there's no incitement to violence, there's no spread of hatred, and there's no propaganda to war. But you can say anything. You are at liberty to. So, for you to find out which statements amount to incitement to violence, and specifically violence, and which one can spread hatred, or which one is a propaganda to war, is not uneasy to find out, because even it is an extension to the international cases, whereby they even remember the Campo 6. Some were charged with those related questions, whereby some were charged to be incited some community to violence, spread hatred among the Kuyu and Kalenjin, and also there was that propaganda to war. They were charged at ICC. So it's an extension, not only municipally but internationally. That is why it is not that easy to find out that indeed these statements have been limited by the Constitution. That's why most of the people are very much confident. Like what Gachagua said, he said that if they intend to rig the 27 election, 207 would look like Christmas party. How is it incitement to violence? You must have specifics that you talk to such person, to such people, inciting which particular group of people, telling them which action to take against which people, using which weapons. No, it must be specifics. Without specifics, I don't think that you can even bring any charge. That's why it is somehow very difficult for that institution to operate, because the way it was designed by the Constitution.
Okay. Thank you so much, Annie. Thank you so much. We are doing fine. Maybe on your side, if you've talked about what I mentioned about what Rigathi Gachagua thing. But how long did it take the organization or the commission to come out? If you remember, when was the show? The show was on Monday. I don't know when the show was. Yeah, but like it took them so long to come out. But anyway, that is just part of the conversation. And Annie's talking about the houses. We talked about it in our first conversation, in our initial conversation when we are starting the show, about the videos that going around. Jana watu walikuwa huko, leo wanatolewa. Na kwa Kiswahili nilikuwa nimezungumzia jambo moja, labda kama naweza fafanua kwamba tunaishi sana maisha ya kuigiza. Tunaigiza maisha. Ni kwamba unajua ukiingia katika uigizaji, uigizaji si maisha ya halisia. Kwanza ni maisha ambayo ni ya burudani, inakuburudisha. Saa zile labda ulikuwa umechoka, labda ushafanya kazi zako za kawaida, zile zinakupatia riziki, alafu leo utakuwa unasema leo hii nataka kuenda kujiburudisha, na kwenda kuburudisha, nataka kwenda kutazama uigizaji fulani ya kundi fulani na kundi fulani. So unapata mara mingi sana katika siasa zetu kuna maisha za kuigiza. Tunaigiza sana maisha, hatuishi sana kihalisia, kwa sababu tungekuwa tunaishi kihalisia, kuna vitu vingi ambapo zingekuwa zinatendeka, kwa sababu tunatumia kuigiza kuonesha labda vitu ziko vyema ama vitu ziko sahihi, na kwa kweli vitu haziko sawa, yeah? Ili kutufumba kwa Kiswahili macho, unaona. Na si tu ni hawa tu wanasiasa wote tu, huwezi sema wanasiasa wote, kwa sababu wanajua hao ndio wakusema, wakiambia wananchi kwamba leo hii, yeah, dunia hii jua itatoka kaskazini iende mashariki, ama jua itoke mashariki iende kaskazini, basi sisi tutakubali tu kwa sababu kiongozi amesema, yeah? Hata kikwambia moja, ukichukua moja, machungwa moja uongeze mbili ni moja, usema hiyo ndio sahihi, tutakubali. Sasa hiyo ndio inasema maisha ya kuigiza, si maisha halisia, yeah. So kulingana na mambo ambayo yalitendeka, na tunaona zile makanda zinatembea katika mtandao, watu wanatolewa, wanafurushwa katika nyumba hizo, unaona. Ule mtu alikuwa anasema amepata nyumba na baada anakaa kwa laini anapata 1,000, inakuwa ni ngumu sana. Asante sana Mr. Makobura. Let me take this opportunity.
Did you talk about 2007? Because I'm seeing consistency from our good friend Douglas.
No, I did not talk. No,
I'm not actually understanding what he's talking about.
No. Sikuzungumzia hata
because I'm seeing we spoke about 2007. Huh?
Okay. This is what Douglas says, and if you want us to speak about 2007, we have the facts. We can speak about it. Don't please, Ben, don't enjoy talking about 2007. My mom was crying in Eldoret. Some people, yes, we can talk about it if you want, because the memory is still fresh, and there's so many questions that have never been answered. Especially when we look at when we want to talk about 2007 until today, there are those victims of violence who have never been paid. I don't know whether they've been paid. People still, yani justice bado haijatolewa, hawajapata haki yao, yeah. So ni jambo ni kitu ambacho labda tunaweza zungumzia. ukienda ni kitu machungu sana.
I'm not
So,
personally, I'm not understanding the comments of Douglas. I don't know what he mean.
no, we did not.
I don't know whether he's saying we spoke about that. I don't know whether he's saying we are supposed to speak about it.
No, we can speak
Maybe
about it tomorrow.
clarify.
Makobura, let me just take this opportunity to thank everyone who was on the show. I just BBM anasema usiongee juu ya 2020. Okay, sawa, sitazungumzia, nimekubali Douglas. I will not talk about it, and I'm good with that. So Makobura, thank you so much, and I just want to attend to some issues. You can continue with the show, and thank everyone who was with me in the show. And Annie, thank you so much for joining. Gibson Corner, I know I'll see you tomorrow. And tomorrow we want to look at the narratives, how the narrative will shape the political Kenyans, because narrative has always been part of the politics of Kenya. Now we have the one-term Kumi Bila break. Who is going to break the heaven of Kumi Bila break? Which one is going to sell, one term or Kumi Bila break? Thank you so much, everyone. As Mr. Makobura, I know I'll see you after the show, or we'll talk. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you so much, Brother Ben. Thank you so much for finding time to be with us. To viewers, I want to acknowledge the presence of Annie. Asante sana kwa kukuja. Gypsy Corner, thank you so much. Douglas Kibogong, thank you so much. There was Onesmus Kimani, thank you so much. Wycliffe Nyandieka, thank you so much. Irene Ruare, asante sana. Mytech, thank you so much. And Yusuf the car doctor, thank you so much for finding time to join us this evening. Irene, thank you. There's Purity Sally, asante sana for finding time to be with us. Brenda Obedi and everyone, we really appreciate the fact that you've been with us for all this time, and we appreciate so much. We hope that you'll continue joining our shows. Maybe if you're watching us for the first time, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. We request you to kindly like and subscribe to the channel if you are visiting us for the first time, and we'll really appreciate. Yeah, so Mr. Miguda, before we end the show, maybe you can give us your take on the consistent critic directed to the Kenya Kwanza administration. Yeah, because we are seeing a situation where there's a high call. Most of the people of Kenya are coming out to criticize almost everything that is being done by the government. Yesterday, you saw the government was giving, led by the president, was giving some houses, and then today we saw people coming out to say that they are the real dwellers of Mukuru, and not even one of them was given a house, and that they are saying that the process of taking those houses were not really very well, that you had to know someone. And not just that, issues to do with democracy and everything. Maybe what is your take on that move by the people criticizing the consistently criticizing the government? And just a minute, Miguda. I can see Gypsy Corner here is saying something. Thank you so much, Gypsy Corner, for being with us. We really appreciate. We hope that you'll join us again tomorrow. And Douglas here is saying, have you sent Yes, I did send, and I even joined him to congratulate him. Yeah, so Miguda, you can give us your take, and then after that you can give us your final remarks.
I was saying if I was Mr. President, I could have taken things the way they are because he's the president, he must suffer from the burden of incumbency. We don't have any president in the Republic of Kenya other than William. So it's up to the people to decide what they want to do with their president. Because we believe that, of course, he's the head of state and the citizens have paid their allegiance to him. Therefore, it is obvious for him to be criticized and he cannot run away from it. And he should not even try to send people or maybe send fear to people because he will be criticized. Even today, if we put Chuma Kobura as the president of the Republic of Kenya, they will criticize you. So let him accept challenges and also try to adjust as the president and also try to correct whenever it is possible. Whenever it is impossible, the people will sort it out. I just hope I just want to wish all of us all the best and see you next time. Bye bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, Miguda, for also finding time to be with us. To our viewers, we really appreciate. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll also finish by appreciating each and everyone. We are grateful. If you are new to this channel, kindly just like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll really appreciate. Yeah, Douglas is saying that there's a sherehe in Oma Bay. Thank you, Douglas. Maybe if you invite us, we tutakuja. Miguda, I think you know something about what is happening in Oma Bay, and I know you are someone who likes traveling. You can update us on the level of preparation in Oma Bay before you leave. Miguda? Oh, I think he has left. So we'll give you that update tomorrow, Mr. Douglas. For now, I just want to take this opportunity to appreciate and to say a big thank you for everyone. We appreciate the fact that you are always with us, you are assisting us, you are our subscriber, and you always, view our content. We hope that you'll always be with us and you'll always assist us in one way or another. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you are. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow.